He was a 220 caliber buck.
Right.
And then he bedded down. And I was like, yep, you're here. Mm-hmm. We're going. Welcome back to another episode of Northwoods Whitetails Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Davis. Today, Dustin Martin is joining me, and we're going to make it brief. Both of us got work to do, and we're going to cut this baby short, but we want to just keep you up to date with how our season ended, our current events that we got coming. We got some exciting things lined up, and hope that a bunch of you will be a part of it. Let's dive into the season first. It's New Year's. Day after New Year's, deer season's in the rear view. Mm-hmm. How'd it go?
All in all, I really couldn't have asked for a better season. It was pretty awesome starting it out with a massive bear, following it up with a 200-pound Maine buck, followed up with a really nice Adirondack 8-point, wide 8-point, and also getting a doe in between there and seeing the deer that I did and being able to hunt on the snow that I was able to. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah.
It was a pretty awesome season. The one thing that was unfortunate is that I was after a really big buck in New Hampshire, and I did not get the conditions to be able to hunt him. And every time I went over there, I never had the conditions to really be able to set out, find him, and hunt him.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing looking back that I had really wanted to do this year, especially finding him last year. And I know I had been talking to you about it and showing you just the sign that I've been finding and getting these trail cam pictures of him. Mm-hmm. That was the one thing I really wanted to do this year, but it just those points didn't come together this year, but that's all right. I mean, I really couldn't have asked anything more for this season.
It seemed like the snow was like super hit or miss, and
it sure was.
It came it came, but within a 12, 16 hour span, it turned to garbage quickly.
And that was the biggest thing. And, that's why I felt so fortunate with this season is that I was able to not have to work during when I did have snow and be able to capitalize on those conditions, because exactly what you're saying, it wasn't like those conditions lasted long.
Yeah.
When those good conditions came, it was there for exactly what you're saying, 12 hours, and then it either warmed up and rained, and then it got super cold and got super crunchy. And it seemed like that was the story of this year, and you hear it from a lot of different people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of killers that, that we know that just didn't do very well. It seemed like guys either had like a great season mm-hmm. or it was complete garbage. Right. It just was one or the other.
Yep.
Yeah, so you ended your freezer's full.
My freezer is full, and
3 deer and a bear.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was wanting to get down to mass, but again, I didn't see the conditions, and for everything how my season ended with that Adirondack buck, I didn't feel like I really needed to push it. So
yeah. Did you end up doing anything in Vermont during muzzle or no?
Yes, actually. I didn't. I had to come back and I had to work, I took a week off before, and I had to be around the house and be with my girlfriend and stuff. It could take a lot of time off, you have to see the people you need. And I was able to get out there the very last day, and I ended up tracking a buck down.
No kidding.
And I ended up not being able to shoot because my scope was all fogged up.
Oh, beauty.
I pulled right up and I put it on him, and all I see was just all fog. But it was one of those, it was just I was satisfied with it, I caught up with him, he took off and everything, saw a good beam and whatever, but it was right at the last light too. It was oh man.
No kidding.
But I mean, yeah. So I was able to get out one day, and I felt good about that hunt.
Yeah. You didn't really hunt Vermont very much, right?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I was able to hunt a little bit. I think it was the first week? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did pass up a decent sized buck. And then I saw plenty of deer. I got on some, decent tracks, but then again, like the conditions went.
Yeah.
We had a few of those good days, but that was it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was.
Yeah.
For some, like I was saying, it was great, and for others, it was just.
Yeah.
I'm ready for 2024.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that. I think I ended with two deer in the freezer. After that big one out west there, it just shit hit the fan.
Yep.
You know what I mean? With Dan passing away, my lead guy passed away. I had to work. I was on to those buck in New Hampshire. It was just a matter of time, but obviously with the chain of events that can't let the wheels fall off the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Maine one day that we had snow. It was a little bit of crust. And I went to the highest elevation possible within my reach to get away from that crust. Ended up finding a buck. He was probably 16 hours old. Freshened him. He got in with a bunch of doe, picked him up where he'd obviously come back on his own loop, and took him quite a ways. And he got onto some doe tracks that I thought were headed to migrate. I know they were headed to migrate, and it was like, I don't know, 11:30, and I was like, I'm not playing this game, right? I've played it many times before, holding the same elevation and just going.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll give him another hour. And I gave him another 20 minutes, and he stopped dead in that trail on those doe, and he took an immediate right. And I was like, here we go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little bit crunchy, and he started feeding, and I could tell in the snow that it just wasn't a whole lot of antlers to him by what he was feeding. He was leaving marks, but it was not what I expected. I mean, he was a 220 caliber buck.
Right.
And then he bedded down, and I was like, yep, here, we're going. And he bedded down again. And when he bedded down again, he only went probably 80 yards, and he bedded down right in a log road, right? Like,
no way.
Open, swalish, right in a log road. And I was like, all right, so you bedded here when it was still dark. And when it got light, you got up and you moved. And I'm literally, I creeped over that bed, and I'm standing in that bed. I know that he just got up because of what he didn't feel safe. And I went over, stood in his bed, and I'm just waiting for movement. I know he's not far, and I'm looking right, and all of a sudden I hear snap to my left, and he comes broadside right in front of me. And when he came broadside, he was only probably 40 yards from me, but he was just this little tiny, like 6-pointer, like little forks on top and little brow tines, but he had a 220 body, and he loped once, he loped twice, and I thought to myself, I was like, look, like little tiny horns on him. And I'm like,
almost wonder if it's the same deer.
Yeah, at
like,
the same time, I'm like, idiot, you better shoot. Like, you're tracking this buck because of his weight.
Yeah, right.
And that was my problem. I hesitated too long, and he took that third bound, and I touched too quickly and never touched him. And I thought I smoked him. And then he's going away, and I sent 2 more Hail Marys at him, and I was like, what the hell just happened? I walked down there. There's no hair, no blood. And I followed him for another half a mile, and I was so mad at myself. Yeah. I just left him. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. But yeah, no. And then, I saw buck pretty much every day I got out. I only hunted, I think, 5 days, and 2 of which were on snow. Myself and Brooke went out one day here after we got done plowing at like 1:00, and there was probably 20 inches of snow-ish.
Yeah,
we went pretty much right straight to the top of the mountain in hopes of, cutting a buck track, and we ended up finding one late in the afternoon. She filmed him, had him on film. We tracked him down and had him on film, but we couldn't tell what he had for antler.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough to shoot by any means. And once we zoomed in, when we got back, you could see a little brow tine, not just a little basket rack looking thing, but I'm glad I didn't. But then, I didn't hunt much after that. We did go to Massachusetts here just for a couple of days. I had a lot of fun. It was more just hanging out with the boys, shooting the shit.
Who were you able to go down with?
Myself, Connor, Corey, and Brent went down.
Nice.
But it was very discouraging. No snow, rained every day. Just wasn't good. Right. So it is what it is.
Yep.
But 2023 is in the rear view, and 24. It's on the horizon.
It sure is.
So
People are already looking forward to it.
yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah. So to let you guys know, the listeners, we're going to be attending the Yankee Sportsman. I think that's the 19th, 20th, and 21st of January. You guys will definitely have to come down, hang out, bring some antlers, whatever. Bring. We want to hear your stories. We've got 3 booths for Darn Tough, 2 for ourselves, 2 for Johnson Woolen Mills. We'll have all the gear there. And we're going to be doing something exciting that we'll release here as we get a little bit closer to the dates. But we've got something in store for you guys. So definitely make an appearance. Come say hi. We want to hear how your story went. Maybe bring your racks. Show us your racks. But yeah, you think of anything else?
No, hope to see everyone there.
All right, sounds good, guys. We'll hope to see you there. We'll talk to you.